Hey everyone, I just want to do a video on how to set up a basic Azure Virtual Desktop environment. The objective of this video is to give beginners an end-to-end walkthrough how I set up a design and so that you can build your learnings on top of that. So here is the design of the demo. And I first start off with creating a host pool resource, and that creates a set of virtual machines along with creating another Azure resource called application group and workspace. So I'll show that how they all kind of work together. And before I create the host pool, I've already created a virtual network and a subnet, specifically used by this Azure Virtual Desktop environment. So next is Azure AD joined, as opposed to Active Directory joined, which is more involved and complicated. But for a basic environment, this makes it a lot simpler. And then next I have a Azure AD group, where I place test users that will log into the virtual desktop. And the key thing is that I will show is that you have to assign this Azure AD group to an application group, okay, which is really publishing the desktop experience or the desktop application. So I will proceed with a voiceover narration of the setup. So here I have a resource group for my Azure Virtual Desktop. So I'll go ahead and click Create, and search for host pool. And so click on that, Create. And here I fill in the parameters, location, give it a name, and the preferred app group do desktop, since I want to do a desktop experience as opposed to a virtualized application, and host pool type of pool, and load balancing of users breadth first across virtual machines, and a max session limit of 2. So yeah, I want to create some virtual machines in this host pool, give it a name prefix, for that's common to all the virtual machines. Yeah, why not choose them for 3 availability zones. Security type, just keep it standard, and we like to have multi-session with M365 apps, which is the Office suites. Here I put the 2 VMs, OS disk type standard SSD, good balance between performance and cost, and a virtual network that I've pre-created that was in that AVD resource group, as well as a pre-created subnet. And to administer each of those virtual machines, if you want to kind of log into them directly, set up a username and password. I believe this would be a local account. And for custom configuration with ARM template, it's more advanced option, so we'll just skip that. And we want to register a application group along with the workspace, which contains one or more application groups. So this one we want to do it for employees. Okay, click next, and then do tags. I always like to do created by, so that I know how old or when I created them. So a review of the settings, and then I go ahead and create that, and it will start to deploy. So fast forwarding this section, I think it takes about 5 to 10 minutes, but here we go, we're done. And so what we see here is 2 virtual machines, active sessions. We can have scaling plan, which I won't go through in this video, and RDP properties. This is pretty important, for device redirection, display settings. And so since I've done Azure AD joined as opposed to Active Directory joined, there's an article right here that details some configuration that needs to be done with the RDP property. So copy this property value, and then comma, and place that in there. So that's an important step. And see here, networking, allow session hosts from the public. Here we see the application group and the session host, which is the 2 virtual machines. And we can see that they're in running order. Okay, so yeah, RKAVD, that was the prefix. And for this session virtual machine or session host, we see the status there. Insights for general monitoring. So here is the Windows Virtual Desktop client in the browser, and so if I want to log in, let's try to attempt at it, but there needs to be some further setup in terms of access. So one thing to do is add a role assignment. So let's select that role. So at this resource group level, I add a role assignment. Search for virtual machine. Local user. And search for members, but I already created this virtual desktop users Azure AD group, and it has some like test users in there. So that's been added. The bottom row there. I'd like to add another role. Virtual machine user login. Find that AD group, Azure AD group, review and assign. So yeah, we got that there. Okay, so now let's try to go to the web client in the browser. Okay, try to sign in. However, okay, still get access issue here. So let's try to resolve that. So the key thing is to do an assignment between the AD group and the application group right here. So you have to select Azure Virtual Desktop users. So that should give it access. So check assignments one more time there. And at the workspace level, check the properties. So that contains the application group. And yep, just checking. So here's my Azure Virtual Desktop users AD group, but I want to test with John Smith account. So here I'm in the web client. I logged in as John Smith, presented with the workspace, and that's the published application. So click into there. So this is the device redirection between the local computer and that virtualized desktop. Let me try that one more time. Password, and there we go. So I am in, and this has my M365 applications, Word, PowerPoint, MS Teams, Outlook. It's already provisioned. And performance-wise is pretty adequate. So back to the host pool, we can see that AVD0 has one user logged in and is active. You can always have the option to remove that host or log them off. So here, just logging them off. So it gives some power to a administrator. So with device redirection, you can, manage your microphone, camera, local printers, how video quality, so these are things where you have more control in configuring, and especially with display settings, resolution, multiple displays, and then advanced custom RDP properties. So here, look at a specific virtual machine. We can always stop them to save on costs. So maybe at the end of the day, you can turn them off. And now you can see it's unavailable. So yeah, thanks for watching and have a great day.